And if I'm ready, which I am now, let's jump into it. The first channel is Now That's Gaming. Discover something new, reviews, secrets, story explained, and we've got a schedule here: Thursdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So we know exactly when the content's coming out, and we kind of have a really good idea of what the content is going to be. It's something to do with gaming, but something new. We're seeing graphics and images here, not from familiar content. So maybe we're going to learn something entirely new about video gaming here, which is already intriguing. Excellent profile picture as well, 46 subscribers. So as we say, a really small channel, but seems to have started very recently, only 2,000 views at this point. But the description is, do you want to discover something new, like current or maybe past indie video games? So other than trying to focus on Fortnite, Call of Duty, all of these big games that are really saturated on YouTube, this channel is trying to target something new and interesting. Let's go to their channel trailer, which I'm delighted to see that this channel has, and see what they've got to tell us about Now That's Gaming. So this was an awesome intro. I do apologize. It sounds like there's no audio coming through, which is unfortunate. I'll see if I can fix that for the next channel trailer. But basically, this gentleman was introducing the channel, which was a really good introduction. Lots of B-roll and telling us exactly what the channel was about, and it seemed absolutely perfect. So, yes, apologies about the audio. I'll try and fix that very quickly for the next channel review. Hopefully that we do. But channel trailer, around about a minute long, so on the extreme end of length, but that was pretty good. And in terms of the channel layout, we've got plenty of things on the playlist. So if, we've got most recent uploads. We can see here that the channel uploads on a very regular basis, as promised in the description here, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, which is awesome to see that you have strong consistency on your channel. What else do we have here? Now, this person must be a disciple of vidIQ, because we have the playlist that I love to see. New to the channel, you might enjoy these videos, and we can see different aspects of their content. Unlock this costume, so like tips and tricks there. What happened, explaining the story of a game, the detail of a video game. All sorts of brilliant stuff being shown here. The variety of a channel, which is excellent to see. Popular uploads, the next playlist, so we know what the videos with the most views. And there's all lots of fantastic stuff here. And I know a lot of you often say when you're watching channels, and you say to yourself, how does this channel not have more subscribers? And I think this is a prime example of it here. Many of the fundamentals locked down in place. And perhaps it's just a subject matter which is really difficult to find an audience with to begin with. We are already starting to see a hint of the thumbnails here, and the branding and the consistency seems very solid. Different color borders to presumably represent different types of videos. The focus of one particular object, some sort of graphical character in there, and then a bit of text. And there's always an interesting conversation here to have with text, and this one seems to follow the logic of the text and the thumbnail complementing the title. As an example, a radish lost in time demo review, and it's not repeated, that text in the thumbnail. It is a teasing description of something like, this is so cute, and that's absolutely brilliant to see, like really reinforcing and trying to give you a hook in the thumbnail, and the little subtle changes in font color and little backgrounds in the fonts as well, and the fact that you use a similar font, well, exactly the same font and font color, means that if you were to take all of these thumbnails and mix them up with lots of other different channels, you'd easily be able to find out straight away now that's Gaming's thumbnails come from these here. So it's all positive. I mean, and if you look at the likes and dislikes ratio, every single video, albeit we're on a very micro scale of analytics here, but it's all 100%. The people who watch this content absolutely love it, which is brilliant to see. So yeah, people, if you want a demonstration, a template of how your channel should start to look, this is one. And just one more thing on the thumbnails. As we've said, we've got the focus of a particular graphic, we've got some text, and then it really contrasts harshly with a darker background, which is absolutely phenomenal again. Okay, let's take a look at an example of one of these videos. I won't let it run for too long because the audio isn't working at the moment. But let's see here. We have video optimization is telling us that this person is absolutely perfect in their content. Everything's ticked all across the board there. And in this particular video, it looks as if it was a trending topic at E3 Indie Games 2018. So really trying to capitalize on the recent conference there for video gaming. And this one has done slightly better, I think, than other videos on his channel. So a good strategy to target trending topics. Such as 48 subscribers with 42 views. In terms of the keywords, that's a keyword that this person should be using, E3 Indie Games 2018, and then riffing off of that keyword for other potential things that they might want to do. So top indie games, best games 2018, indie games, best indie games news. This is all fantastic, brilliant work. One thing I want to check back on now is just how long this channel has been making videos, because I feel as if this channel should have more subscribers, they should have more views, and it looks as if you started to make videos around about a year ago and you've been pretty consistent on that. I guess the one thing might be, maybe you took a bit of a break there because there's only about 40 videos, so yeah, massive gap here. So you went from making videos 8 months ago and now you've recently just got back into it with maybe 20 videos. So there's going to be a lot of perseverance and patience required here for this channel. And I guess the other question might be, it's a very niche area, and how many search terms are you getting for these particular games? And there might not be that many. So perhaps what you may want to think about as a strategy, what's the channel? Now That's Gaming, is possibly some gateway videos. Now, this might mean that you need to bring in some maybe more popular games or something a bit more whole scale, like top 10 independent games ever, just to appeal to a wider audience who may not be following all of the specific indie games that are out there, or best Easter eggs in indie games ever, or worst independent games ever made. Something along those lines to maybe just appeal to a somewhat wider audience. Because I think once people get into your content, it looks absolutely phenomenal. So hopefully there you should be just bringing in a bit more audience. But at the same time, I think you probably need to continue to do this, maybe 3 to 6 months, get 50 videos out there on more or less the same topic and strategy, and see how your channel starts to develop. We've got somewhat spiky view counts here. We're going from like 20 to 14 to 31. So in your view range, we're sort of, some videos get 50% less, 100% more. And yeah, it's really just finding some ways to grab more of an audience and then bring them into your specific content. And it might be that you just need to reach out a little more with some wider videos, wider video topics, possibly on independent games. But generally speaking, in terms of the way the channel's laid out, the thumbnails, super high quality. This is like 95% of the way there in terms of what you can be doing for your channel at the size you are. So the first channel, Now That's Gaming, gets a huge thumbs up from me for looking absolutely awesome. It's a great way to start this live stream, actually. Some wonderful stuff there to see. Right, okay, next person we're going to look at is a channel that we have been promising a live stream review for quite a while, but every time we try and review their channel, they are either walking the dog or something goes wrong. So hopefully this channel is still on the live stream and we're going to review them right now, and that channel is Fraser Rules. Now, if you just bear with me, I'm going to switch around my audio, so hopefully we can get some audio working here. Just bear with me 1 second. Hopefully that should make the speakers work so you can hear something. Here we're looking at Fraser Rules then. 67 subscribers we have here for the channel. And this person loves to canoe, kayak, play canoe polo with friends. And it seems like you like to play video games as well. So there may be a big question here. Already I can see from the channel banner and your profile picture that you're in a canoe, but that you're also like to play Minecraft. So which one do you like to do most? We might have to decide what your topic is going forward, at least in the short term. You do have a channel trailer though, so let's watch that, see what we can find out.
You guys, first of all, today, well, cue the montage!
30 seconds into the channel trailer there, and we have an idea that it looks as if your interest seems to be more about water sports, kayaking, canoeing. So perhaps this channel banner here needs to change to reflect that. Also, I think you maybe lingered a little bit too long on some of your clips there. The channel trailer is 2 minutes 50. We want to be seeing a channel trailer probably more in the lines of 30 seconds to 45 seconds. So just increase the pace, perhaps, and include more of yourself, maybe doing narration in the background there. In terms of channel layout, not too much has been done here. We can see that you upload videos on what seems to be a weekly basis, and they all seem to be pretty much about water sports. So I think definitely brand your channel as a channel for people of a similar age to you who are interested in water sports. Very much a niche topic, but that's where you can really focus on a particular audience with a valuable message. Thumbnail wise, okay, so I think what's a good reference point here is to let's go back to Now That's Gaming, and let's just compare the two thumbnail styles and see how important thumbnails of a similar branding and consistency can be. So this is Now That's Gaming. This is Fraser Rules. And you can see how spending more time on your thumbnails can have a dramatic impact on how one of the most important areas of YouTube can be improved upon. Fraser Rules, you do have custom thumbnails, and that's brilliant. And some good things are that you're including your channel logo, which is different to your profile picture. And it looks as if, is somebody playing badminton there? And there's a dog, and then there's somebody with a piece of luggage. Maybe you need to simplify that again, because I'm getting a little confused as to what your message might be in your channel. So yeah, something to think about. And then on your thumbnails, more focus and consistency. just as an example, these thumbnails here, where you have a stock background and then a small image of you, and then it's Harry Potter remakes of my favourite scenes. I think that's you in a Harry Potter outfit, but we can barely see anything there. So you'd want to really blow up that image of you so that we can see what's going on, and the text is unreadable as well. So here we talk about the 25 or 10% thumbnail rule. When you create your thumbnail, it looks, well, we'll do me as an example. When you create your thumbnail, it looks this big. So you can see all sorts of things. You can sort of see the individual characters here and the subscribe pillow back there and all sorts of fantastic detail in your thumbnail. But when you shrink it down to this size, so hello, I'm in the bottom right hand corner now, you can see a lot less. And that's what the majority of your audience is going to see when they're potentially clicking on your thumbnail. So always think about the 10% thumbnail rule when you're creating something. Really shrink it down before you finalize it. And that's why, again, going back to Now That's Gaming, you can see how when these shrink down, they still tell a good story and have a good hook on their content. In terms of your actual content, unboxing my new dash extra something, I'm not sure what that's about. Behind the scenes of a tour de Yorkshire, arts and crafts, kayaking adventures, sup training, I'm not sure what's that, Harry Potter remake of my favourite scenes. There's a lot of different topics going on there. What does your audience like most, I think would be the question for you to answer. And when you have that answer, for the next 5, maybe 10 videos, try and just focus on that particular topic and see if your audience begins to grow with that particular topic as a test. I'm sure there's probably a lot of experimentation going on here. Like, as I can see, you've made videos for the last year and you've made about 25 videos. So still a lot of experimentation going on there. But you should have some idea now what videos you enjoy making most and what resonate most with your audience. Let's have a quick look at one of your videos. I'm just stopping the video there because that's 10 seconds into the video and we haven't seen a hook or something delivered from the thumbnail and the title. So something to think about. Maybe have an intro of around about 10 to 5 seconds that talks about your content a little bit more and then goes into your intro, which should probably be no more than 5 to 8 seconds. Now, I actually know where this is. This is Beverley because I used to live very near to Beverley, and that's back in the UK, so I do recognise the surroundings there. Something you'll definitely want to think about with your content is making a story out of it. I don't know if you have any voiceover in this content. I'll just jump forward a little bit. It sounds as if it's all music. And we want to know a lot more about your personal feelings on the Tour de Yorkshire and what happened there. So fantastic that you sort of put together a montage and lots of B-roll content, but we need something to put it all together, and I think that would be you talking about the event, which would be super great. No video tags. All right, so you're talking about a specific event that would have been trending at the time. That would have been the Tour de Yorkshire. So you want to include lots of keywords that reference that specific thing. Tour de Yorkshire, behind the scenes Tour de Yorkshire commentary, Tour de Yorkshire, what else could we think of? Tour de Yorkshire bike riding in the Tour de Yorkshire. So all sorts of things which revolve around the word Yorkshire, which is, of course, where I'm from as well. So yeah, definitely optimize your keywords and your description as well. The art director, thumbnail maker, all of these things, probably don't need to include it in the top section of your description. That's where you want to be writing something along the lines of, I recently went to the Tour de Yorkshire bike event and I took a lot of footage of the Tour de Yorkshire, and these are my thoughts. That might be a better description that just reinforces all of your keywords. So, to summarize there, I think Fraser Rules, you want to probably get rid of the gaming aspect, because there doesn't seem to be any gaming on your channel. Focus down on your particular niche, passion and interest, rather than jumping from topic to topic. Build out your thumbnails a little bit so we can clearly see what the story is of every thumbnail at a small size. And I think you'll continue to grow and develop your content. A good thing I will mention as well, though, is that you have a lot of likes on your channel. Again, very similar to Now That's Gaming. You had more or less 100% likes, so awesome to there. And just keep creating videos. I think it's absolutely awesome that you're starting to get into the YouTube world at your age, and there's plenty of opportunities there. And just keep working at it. Try and do collabs with your friends, sort of build that creative passion for it, and there's lots of energy in your content, and I think that's awesome. So congratulations there with the start of your channel there, Fraser Rules. Okay, thank you very much so far to the people who've allowed themselves to be vidIQ live stream guinea pigs. The next channel we're going to do is something all about flight, and it's going to be miles high. So I'm sure this channel creator, if they are on the live stream now, suddenly thinking, oh, I think that's definitely my channel that's about to be reviewed next. And you are right. Mile High Firebird, Be Journey Minded. This channel has 54 subscribers. I joined relatively recently in September last year, 1,000 views. So still very much a developing channel. Your name is Seth. Hello, Seth to you. Commercial pilot with instrument, tailwind and multi-engine endorsements. I'm a Banner tow pilot in South Florida, and I have the best job in the world. I'd love general aviation and plan on staying in it for my career. Maybe just add something about why this is relevant to me. Like, okay, I can see you're interested in that, but why is that? Why does that mean anything to me? So the story may lead on to, and I want to share my experiences and tell you all about the job that I do. If you are also interested in aviation and being a commercial pilot. Excellent length of channel trailer, but I'm not sure what it tells me about your channel specifically, because you don't include any narration and you introduce yourself. I can see you actually in some of the content there, like you show yourself there and also up there. So I want to hear from you in this channel trailer, like, hello, my name's Seth, I'm a commercial pilot, welcome to Mile High Firebird, and this is what we do here. And then maybe a little bit of narration about, I toured the US, visiting places like, where did you go? Visiting places like Miami, and then New York, and all of these other places. And I get lots of great aerial pictures, aerial shots that I want to share with you. We also talk about things such as towing and commercial piloting and whatever else you talk about in that world. People always want to build some sort of association and trust with a video creator as soon as possible. And you're in the channel banner, you're in the profile picture, but we don't hear from you in the channel trailer. So definitely something maybe to tweak a little bit there. Just before I go to your thumbnails, maybe flesh out the playlist a little more, like put together a portfolio of your best videos or ones that represent your channel most would also be a nice little thing to add there. Right then, thumbnail. So you've really only been doing this for 2 months, so already some fairly good progress with the 50 subscribers. Interesting to see here that your first video, a pilot's episode, general aviation, and banner towing, is your most popular video by far. And that seemed to be a show formula that you were thinking of doing. I think maybe you could try and incorporate that as maybe your... Oh, it's a nice play on words, actually. A pilot's pilot episode. Okay, so maybe that's not the actual series. Maybe you can think of a series word that captures all of these things together. As there seems to be videos on like tutorials, how to get pilot insurance. And then other ones on, let's see. That seems to be the only tutorial one. Oh, what's banner towing like? So there's stories, there's tutorials, there's maybe questions and answer series. So maybe you need some sort of series tagline to put them all together. Another thing you might want to look at is shortening some of your titles. Classic example here of you do have 100 characters to play with on YouTube titles, but after around about 60 characters, they start to get cut off. So I knew this was a video about general aviation and Banny, but I didn't know it was banner tone because I had to mouse over it. So something to consider. Another one here, reviewing the GATS fuel jar sampler. I can't see the whole title there, so maybe see if you can be a little more concise and punchy with your thumbnails would be good. In terms of thumbnails, we can play this game of if we take all of these thumbnails and mix them in with lots of other aviation channels, would we be able to pick out, for example, that this one here, and let's see, that one there are from the same channel. There's lots of different things going on in the thumbnails in terms of the fonts used and the colors. I think that maybe needs quite some work on those thumbnails. And again, the usual issue of I can barely read some of the text on some of these thumbnails, so they may be a little bit busy in that regard. Let's go to one of your videos. I think we'll choose Flight into the Florida Keys, one unforgettable trip.
Hey, good evening. High Firebird here today. My name's Seth. If we're first meeting, I just want to say welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming by and watching some of my videos. If you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back. If you're new, consider subscribing. And smash that like button for the video. And leave a comment as well. Okay, so what I got for you today? Well, today we got a short little video. I just wanted to share with you guys a trip that I took this January. I had to think for a sec. This January. Down to the Florida Keys, specifically Marathon. Great trip. Beautiful going down. So this is a pipe. So
I just want to jump forward there to try and work out when there was some payoff of the video title, and it took about a minute. It's fine for you to go through the YouTube pitch of subscribing, asking for comments and likes. But before that, potentially, you need some sort of payoff. Now, that could be 10 to 15 seconds of commentary from a lot later on when we can see you actually flying towards the Florida Keys. Now, how you want to do that is entirely up to you. But yeah, maybe some sort of payoff at the beginning of a video would help a little bit going forward. In terms of optimization, you've got pilot, flying, tailwheel, flight training, aircraft, airplane, landing, short field. A lot of single or two phrase keywords. And I think you want to maybe try and be more specific with your keywords. Now that might be along the lines of, let's see, I'm trying to think. Single engine Piper Dakota flight, or views over the Florida Keys, Florida Key airplane visuals, Florida Keys Google Maps experience. Some more specific keywords, I think, rather than all of these keywords are kind of jumping around. many of the different broader aviation keywords I think you may benefit from. Like flying videos, I think flying videos could be an example of a keyword that you could use. So if we just do that as a search, flying videos, cockpit might be a potential keyword to use. And then is there anything other keywords that we could potentially use from there to help, again, categorize your content? It might be cockpit view from your plane, cockpit view over the Florida Keys. So can you see where I'm going here with the travel viewing element of the keywords, as opposed to FAA and FBO and fixed wing and airframe, and it seems like you're trying to include as many keywords to cover as many topics as possible, and you definitely want to be focusing down as much as possible. But in terms of how the channel's developing, it's good that you seem to clearly have a topic in mind. The thumbnails, although they need some work, you're using custom thumbnails already, which is awesome. In terms of video content, there are some videos that are a lot shorter than others. So these are like 24 seconds long. Probably a little too short for, I would say, YouTube. And maybe you have to gauge how long you think people would be interested in this sort of aviation flight conversation. So it might be worth experimenting with maybe 2 or 3 minute videos. So those are the general summary there, High Firebird. I think your messaging is fairly strong in that we know what your channel's about pretty much as soon as we look at it. I think it just needs cleaner thumbnails and maybe some better metadata and probably quicker payoffs in the videos themselves. Hope you found those suggestions useful there, High Firebird. And I think we should be ready more or less to look at the next channel on the list here. I think the Doberman is just kicking one over my way. So while he is, I just want to remind you, if you are enjoying this live stream, do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really does help us with engagement and replay. And if you think somebody would find this useful in the as we're doing a live stream and wants to get advice about their channel or give advice to other channels, then do make sure you share this video to other people. One more thing I should say, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of this live stream: if you don't know what vidIQ is, we're a YouTube tool and channel that aims to help you get more views with hundreds of tools at your disposal. So any of the interesting analytics numbers you've been seeing so far on the channel have come from vidIQ. There's a link in the description. It's free to download with some paid services on top. So make sure to check that out. And one more thing just before we look at any other videos is, if you're unfortunate enough you don't get a channel review today, we do have the brand new channel audit tool on vidIQ, which will give you instant feedback on your channel. As you can see, this is a vidIQ one on right now. And as it's saying here, content to double down on, this channel review live stream is getting 500 views per hour at the moment, which is absolutely awesome. So maybe we need to do more channel reviews. But if we want to increase engagement rate and have videos with more discussion, then we can see how different videos perform differently on the channel. If we want to build trust with our audience and build subscribers to return, it looks as if how-to videos work for us. But you can do all of this for your own channel in an instant, and this screen here is free. It's telling us we're doing an awesome job with how to improve on our content. There's no videos that don't have cards at the moment. There's no videos that don't have end screens. But if they were, I could click on them, click on the screen, and it would tell me which videos need end screens. Here's one where we failed to do something. There's a video in our playlist. There's a video on our channel that doesn't have playlists. And it's this one about how private messages are disappearing. So I need to add that to a playlist after the end of this live stream. So if you can't get a live stream today personally from me, then we have an awesome tool that will help automate the auditing of your channel. Anyway, while I've been saying that, the Doberman has given me a slew of channels to give audits on. So thank you very much, Doberman. I think he's having to pop out for 20 minutes. So I really do appreciate you getting all those suggestions in before you head out. And we hope you have a safe trip and you're back soon. Right, on to the next channel to review. And that is going to be Vanessa's Vlogs, Fitness Moto Vlogging Live. So we already know that it's a vlogging channel. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of vlogging channels out there, but this is already trying to add a twist onto itself, which is that it's to do with moto vlogging, presumably maybe about bikes. That's my guess. The channel has 500 subscribers. Not that many views over 500 subscribers. I'm going to congratulate you on hitting 10,000 views very, very soon. So congratulations on that. Your name is Vanessa and you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So I just want to say welcome to vidIQ. Awesome that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. I hope you don't feel too intimidated by YouTube itself, and it's awesome to see people finding a voice and a platform and using YouTube to spread a message, and hopefully you're going to influence other people who are similar to you that maybe are a little afraid of sharing their stories about moto vlogging potentially, and you're always an inspiration when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, so that's brilliant to see there. I'm trying all things new, which includes motivation to get in shape, sharing myself, and things I like to do with others. That seems all brilliant in terms of your channel description. One thing I might say is with your vlogs, maybe you want to see you on the channel banner maybe a little bit. Maybe you sat on the bike, or a big you in a helmet, or some way to introduce yourself in the channel banner as quickly as possible. The channel layout probably needs a bit of fleshing out. We only see the playlist for most recent uploads, so maybe a little work that you could potentially do there if you can about what your channel's about, because you talk about getting fit. I can see there's a mental illness video here, so whatever topics you cover, maybe you want to make sure that each of them are mentioned in the channel layout. Okay, thumbnail wise, I think as before, we probably want to see some consistency on your thumbnails to find out what your content is about more than what we can see here. Like if I'm just looking at these thumbnails, my eye can't really focus on anything really specific in these thumbnails. I think the clearest thumbnail here is potentially this one, which looks as if it has some sort of explosion in it, a WTF text, and a shock emoji. And I think that one has the most impact out of all of these thumbnails. So maybe use that as a baseline for what you want to do in the future, potentially. I mean, you could also, like this thumbnail here, this could easily have that same impact if you just zoomed in on yourself there. You look as if you're about to be sick. Maybe have a sick emoji as well, just to again tell a teasing story as clearly as possible when the thumbnail is shrunk down to the size that I can see them. You've had 1 or 2 successful videos here then, some that have got 1,000 views, 2,000 views, and others that haven't done too well. I guess this was like a nice pranky one that people enjoyed. And then what else do we have? So there's more pranky ones. I would simply do a quick test here and sort your videos by most popular and see if there are any specific videos that are more popular than others. So there's a meat prep fitness tip one there. And there's another fitness tip one there. We've got bamboozle challenge, which I think is a kind of a pranky one. I'm not really sure what that one's about. I think it's about weight training and fitness again. So it's looking like in the top section of your most popular videos, the fitness ones seem to be the most popular ones. So again, maybe practice, experiment for the next 5 to 10 videos, just focusing on fitness videos and see if they have a good impact with your audience. and find out what they do. Like this one is an interesting one in that the thumbnail really is just a block of text, but it seems to replicate the title, but it seems to be quite a successful video on your channel. And is that because you've found a really specific keyword or niche that's really helps you potentially with this one? Are you using keywords? So maybe these keywords such as keto and fasting for women, that's another good one. Intermittent fasting diets, intermittent fasting for women. So I think there's the start of some potentially good keywords there. So maybe use more of them if you potentially can. And you're being very obvious and direct in your title. So losing 17 pounds in 3 weeks, I think that's a good way to key in a potential audience. So some positive stuff there. Title maybe is a little bit long, but nothing too much to worry about there. But tags is telling us here that you could probably add more specific keyword tags. So absolutely. Again, think about which is your key phrase here, which looks like maybe fasting for women or intermittent fasting diet or keto diet, and then working even more keywords around that topic into those tags, and maybe dropping ones like how to and tips and women, which are probably a little too broad as keywords. I'm going to watch maybe 30 seconds of your video now, see what we find out about your channel specifically.
Bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy.
Okay, definitely one thing that you should maybe look about fixing there is the intro is far too long. It's around about 30 seconds in length, which for this particular video is about 25%. Something I would definitely look at there is your audience retention and see how many people are dropping off in the first 30 seconds, waiting for the video to actually start. So if you want to bring yourself in with some vlogging much earlier on in the video, I definitely recommend doing that. I'm trying to take that intro down from 30 seconds to 5 seconds because it's almost like a channel trailer on every single video. Well, I don't know if you do this on every video, but on this particular video, I'd say the trailer is too long. I'm also wondering, is there any particular reason why you're filming yourself in portrait and then adding some elements which make it a landscape video? You're chopping off the left and right side of your video, creating massive borders, so maybe something to think about a little bit there. Recording landscape, or make this text fit within the margins of the video so that when people are watching it on YouTube, it automatically orientates itself correctly. So just some things to think about there. So general suggestions I would say is, you've got quite a few, you've got about 3 or 4 topics here, and it seems the fitness ones seem to be the most popular ones. So try and focus on them maybe for a little bit. And your thumbnails do have some elements of a good tease, shock value, or grabbing the attention of your audience, but just make them a little bit clearer if you can. Just as an example on this one, which is doing fantastic, and it has good view counts already. There's a lot of objects in there. It's a little bit difficult to see you. Maybe you're trying to show the shape of your body and how you've lost weight, or you want to show what type of foods you're eating. You kind of need to choose one or the other here, or maybe have a bigger image of you yourself and a bigger image of maybe one type of food there. But generally speaking, Vanessa, for the subscribers that you have and how long you've been doing it, and again, all excellent audience feedback. It seems to be more or less 100% and so on. I would just think about doubling down on your best content. Stick in there for a while. See if you can build growth in that area, and then build other elements of your content maybe within the dieting videos if those appear to be the strongest ones. All right then, we're blasting through the channels today. I seem to be much more efficient in giving you information, and as always, thank you everyone for sharing this live stream. I think we're getting very near to 100 concurrent viewers, so really do appreciate that. And welcome to Andrew, who's just subscribed. It's not often that I can say thank you to people directly, but just in between video channels there, and able to say hello to you. Right, we're going to move on to another channel now. Let me just load that up. I like the name of this channel already. Let's see what they have to deliver inside. I like their font as well. Here we go. The next channel we are looking at is Geeks of All Trades. So there's a few elements here that are making me think of different things. I'm thinking of maybe nostalgia of films and toys, games, that sort of thing. But then I see a playing card and I'm thinking, does that have anything to do with playing cards? I'm not too sure there. We can see that you've got some funky little geeky, nerdy outfits on. So the two hosts introducing themselves here as well. Maybe it just needs a really punchy catch tagline. You have Geek of All Trades, and maybe something just delivering what exactly that means for us would just perfect that in terms of the channel banner. You've got 34 subscribers, so we're talking about a relatively new channel here, I assume. Oh, by the way, it's a new emoji drinking bottle there. Let us know what you think in the comments. This is a place to get videos on prop builds, costume builds, video game console fixes, and more. So again, a lot of different topics being potentially covered here. Just have a look at the layout of your channel. Okay, you got. Let's rewind that and watch your channel trailer.
Hey everyone, this is Geeks of All Trades, and welcome to our channel. We dabble in all things geek, from prop builds, costumes, Nerf modifications, custom Lego builds, toy reviews, video games, you name it. If it's geek, you'll find it here. And be sure and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our new videos.
I think in terms of the channel trailer, that's very well done in terms of the story that you're telling. Getting in front of camera, introducing yourself, B-roll. I maybe would have added some music potentially, some more sound effects, like they're really effective at the end of the channel trailer there. But generally speaking, I get a clear idea exactly of what you're doing almost immediately. Channel layout seems to be better than most we've seen so far today. We can see how often you upload videos. Seems as if there may be some issues with consistency there, like 3 in a week, and there may be a 2 or 3 week gap. So are you able to better schedule your content maybe? If you've got something lined up and it's not trending, then maybe you can stagger the release of your content potentially. Popular uploads here, and created playlist down at the bottom. Thumbnail wise, it looks like you're definitely working hard on your thumbnails and starting to improve them. Like I love this Wolverine one as your latest video, like a DIY one. You've actually put some effort into dressing up a little bit like Logan, and I guess maybe you can make these claws a little have more impact, maybe because it's the background blends in with the claws a little bit. So maybe tiny bits of tweaks here and there to help. One way you can do that is to cut yourself out of the image and then put on a different colored background, and then you can do stroke effects, make yourself glow. Pretty much like the thumbnail I've just reworked for this live stream. But generally speaking, the thumbnails are of a high quality. Again, this 10% rule, we're shrinking down things, and we can see clearly what the object is. When you use the text, it's telling a story, like Nerf, Star Wars, Han Solo blaster. He shot first, so that's telling us a bit more about the context of the video rather than repeating what's in the title, which is good. Maybe some bits of branding consisting might need adding, like these Lego ones where it's just showing an image of a box, it looks like. Is there a way you could add a logo onto it, or maybe some sort of image of you holding one piece, which is difficult to put together, potentially. But the thumbnail-wise, there's a lot of good things going on here. Let's just see what your most popular videos are. So nothing that's really broken out yet as a super popular bit of content. It looks as if all of your most popular videos revolve around weapons from nostalgia. From nostalgia, from games and from games, movies, and so on. Is there any reason why you departed from those types of videos, or are you just looking to rebrand yourself? Because I guess even though they are your most popular videos, again, you haven't got a big number of views on them, so perhaps you wanted to depart for something else. I guess that's absolutely fine. Also, another thing I guess I would say is it is a channel about geeks, but how much of this content is about, I guess Geek of All Trades may mislead viewers into thinking it's about a site where a channel about getting really rare items and maybe the value of them or selling them or that sort of storyline, story of a channel, where it feels to me as this is more about builds of objects that you would find in movies and Lego and video games. So perhaps, again, this is where the value proposition may help really define what your content is about. Let's have a look at one of your videos so we can find out more about exactly what you do within a video.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan of Geek of All Trades, and I'm sporting a Marvel-themed Funko t-shirt today because I'm going to be working on a Marvel-themed project. Wolverine's fully functional claws. And
Whoa.
you can go to a tutorial and find out how to build this by clicking on the link here and going to Brian's Technology. However, he uses a different propulsion system, which is a liquid-based hydraulic system, and I couldn't quite get that system to work. However, I might have missed a few details here and there. I might go back and try that again, but in the meantime, I developed an alternative system to make...
Just want to... Whoa, okay, so that's where your intro was. I think there's only... I think when I was watching that video, there was only one thing that I wanted to see there as part of your introduction, and that was where you did the ka-ching thing with the Wolverine claws, and that had such a big impact on me, and I think that's probably where you should start. It'd be like, hello, welcome to Geek of All Trades, and today we're building one of these, ka-ching, and then just jump into more of a story, and then do the intro there and jump more into the story. It felt like the intro was a little long in itself, but there was a real wow factor there that you had in the thumbnail, and it certainly delivered on that. So some really interesting custom build sort of things going on there. In terms of your keywords, I think the keywords are pretty strong here. What I might think about doing is just rearranging them for relevance. The keywords here might be retractable claws Wolverine, or how to make your own Wolverine costume, or how to make Wolverine claws might be the keyword. Put all of those more towards the top, and then take maybe Wolverine, Logan, X-Men, and what else? Probably just those ones, just further down the keywords, and just bring all of these ones further up, and maybe think about sort of slightly broader but specific keywords. The reason I say that is how many people are searching for DIY X-Men Wolverine fully automatic claws? Probably not many. So it might be that you need to think about DIY Marvel weapons. It's probably not searched that much, but those that do search it are going to fall right on top of your content. And here's something that is super interesting. You've got 2 comments on this. One of the channels is Brains Technology that has over 400,000 subscribers. So that represents how interested big influencers might be in your content. If you haven't already, I don't know if you work with this person or you can collaborate with them. This person's certainly interested in your content. Try and see if you can do some sort of collaboration with them, and that will propel your channel far quicker than any sort of minimal data channel optimization might do. If you're getting interest from larger channels here, definitely see if you can leverage them for both of yours benefit. Like if you could appear on their channel with this technology, I think that would be an awesome segue into probably the wide audience that are interested in your content but haven't been able to find it because you're in that big YouTube super small channel, small influence right now. So in terms of overall summary of a channel, I think the branding is strong. The message probably just needs to be a little more specific. Just as another thought, we're using clearly a Back to the Future font here. So I was expecting maybe to see some Back to the Future stuff. And I don't think I've seen any Back to the Future stuff at all there. So maybe something to think about there about being as specific about your message as possible. Thumbnails seem of a generally very good quality. And just try and see, again, maybe identify which are most successful videos. Is it Lego builds? Is it these custom builds from popular films and cartoon universes? And yeah, maybe just thinking along those lines about what's the best content for me to do for the next couple of months to try and double down on successful content. Looks like there's some really interesting stuff in there. And hopefully we can see more people watching your content soon. That was Geek of All Trades. And what we're going to do now is take a look at the next channel straight away, which is going to be, let's see if we can load one up. Thank you again, as always, to the Doberman, who's got plenty of suggestions all ready to lock and load. Look at that, we've now apparently got 98 people on the live stream watching live. I'm never quite sure how accurate that is, but if you can just invite a few more people to join in on this live stream, that would be very much appreciated, just to break that 100 mark. Oh, it's dropped down to 93 now. I made a terrible mistake there, asking people to share my content. Anyway, hello Dope, new subscriber there. The next channel we are going to look at is Eddie at the LMV. I don't know what the LMV is. So let's try and find out in the... Okay, the LMV is a fictional band that creates animated music videos to pop songs, taking the lyrics as literally as possible. This seems like an interesting, entertaining channel, but that needs to be much stronger in the channel banner. We need to do something with LMV. If that needs explaining specifically, then do it in a channel banner. Yeah, this needs very much a value proposition. It should be something like songs animated literally, I think might be the value proposition for you. Probably needs some fleshing out again, but songs animated literally will help explain what this is, because just looking at this and the LMV, this could almost be like a cartoon comic of people at a workplace, or something that doesn't help explain specifically what your content is about from a channel banner. Have you got a channel trailer? Yes, you do.
Hello, I'm Eddie from the LMV, and welcome to my channel trailer. Just look at that beauty. And now, onwards and upwards. I am a member of a YouTube band called the LMV, and we devote hours of hard work into recording and filming in order to create content for people like you. We cover a wide spectrum of popular music, but we're not like the typical music bands you find on this site. We use the power of YouTube to create music videos to entertain the internet, hoping to take the lyrics as literally as possible. We've performed songs by artists like Herman's Hermits.
I would end your channel trailer pretty much there. I felt the introduction of you literally showing the trailer was perfect British humour, and I love it. I think maybe just an example, one snippet from your music within that first 45 seconds would help explain the story rather than you having to walk us through it. I think you could probably say, we're from the LMV and we animate music literally like this, and then maybe a 5 or 10 second example of what you do. But great that you have a channel trailer. 2 minutes is probably too long. Try and shorten it down there. But I think the message is coming through there. So, literal music videos. Eddie and his friends at the LMV get together to try and make songs they cover. Have videos that take them as literally as possible. So I'm liking that you've put some concerted time and effort into the descriptions of your playlist, which is awesome to see. And yeah, this is probably the best laid out channel so far that we've seen. Do you have recent uploads? You don't have recent uploads. You've got popular uploads. So just maybe include recent uploads so that we get an understanding of how often you post your content. Because I'm assuming with animated content, it probably takes quite a while. And we'll find that out right now when we look at your videos. So you do... Okay, so you do maybe about 15 videos every 6 months. So one every 10 days, it looks like, or one every 2 weeks. Branding is going to be very important for your content, especially when you're doing covers of music. And we want to try and associate your thumbnails with both your quirky take on the music and maybe the original artist in some way. So, cover of Things We Said Today by the Beatles. I'm just looking at the thumbnail here and it looks relatively busy. I'm not really sure what the focus of that thumbnail is. So, do you need the text in there and do you need the text there? Maybe you could have a much stronger message from that particular lyrics. Like I guess one thing would be taking specific lyrics where you've taken them literally in an entertaining and amusing way might be the best way to tell the story on the thumbnail from your title. And then some of your thumbnails are quite a departure from what you would usually do with the animated ones. Some just look as if they're you're sort of departing from quite a bit from what you might usually cover. So, yeah, maybe a little more focus on your thumbnails might be helpful. I'm also seeing some very big variations on video length. There's like some which are 15 seconds long, some that are 2 minutes long. I guess these are teasers to try and help keep your audience engaged while you're maybe making one of these literal videos. All right, let's take an example. Let's go for... I want to actually see one of your music videos, and I think that's maybe... So there's 3 cover versions there, and then there's this one which is 9 seconds, and then Perky Puppy, the Cutest Pets. Is that a cover version as well? I'm not seeing clearly when you're doing... I see clearly when you do cover version music, but then I'm not sure when you depart from that. So maybe something again to think about when you're delivering the message of your videos. Let's watch one of them.
When I grow up to be a man, Well, I dig the same things that turned me on as a kid. Will I look back and say that I wish I hadn't done what I did? Will I joke around and still dig those sounds when I grow up to be a man?
So now I understand that when you're doing your videos, you're not taking the actual version of the music itself, presumably for copyright issues, and you're doing a revoice of it and then adding animations to that. So again, I think that needs to be clearly stated in the video, the video trailer, and anywhere else you could potentially help clear that out. All right then, so keywords. Eddie at the LMV, parody, comedy, animation, literal video, Beach Boys, when I grow up to be a man. So some good long tail keywords there. I might think about taking Eddie at the LMV and these ones much lower down in the tag list. Again, it's going to be really hard to rank for parody, comedy, animation. And you want to be ranking, have a much better chance of ranking for literal music video or music video parody or cover versions, literal cover versions of music, I think, would be where you're going to have more of a chance of ranking with your content. What else can we see here then? If we look at your... I was going to look at something and it's just dropped out of my head what I was going to look at. I just want to look back at your videos, see what your most popular ones are. Again, it looks as if this 20th century logo one, which seems probably like... Well, let's have a look at it. Does this follow the literal cover versions music? So that was a good idea of following a trending topic, and that's clearly worked with 250,000 views, so congratulations on that. So maybe you need to think about if you can do cover versions of more trending topics or cover versions of particular music within films that have just been released. I guess it's hard to find music when you're looking at the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations and some of the Beatles songs, which are not being specifically searched for now, but there is content that you can parody that will be more current, especially when the Oscars are out and all of the big summer releases. I could almost think of you doing some sort of parody that involves Jurassic Park right now as an idea. So things to think about there. I think Eddie at the LMV, for me, by itself isn't a strong enough description of what your channel does. These random characters, how do they reflect the music that you're covering or the parodies that you're doing? I think that's probably where you want to start with your content. However, congratulations on the trending video, the big one viral, semi-viral video that you've had. And another thing to note here is that when you were looking at 10 favorite adverts, you see that's a complete departure as well from your current content. So maybe we can't look at them too much. So 10 favorite adverts. Presumably you're just taking clips from video, so probably moving away from that as well in terms of your content. So it's good. It's good now that you do seem to have a specific thing that you want to concentrate on, which is cover versions. Keep working at it and keep making that message as strong as possible. And that is Eddie at the LMV. Thank you for participating in the live stream. Right, we've got time for one more channel review, and this one is going to be a group therapy review. So if you're not familiar with what we do here, we take a channel and we look at it all together. So from all of the things that I've been talking about and you've been talking about in the chat, We want to try and do this together as a group, and I'm going to be asking you questions to try and tease out something that you can tell us about the channel to see what you've learned and also maybe what I can learn from you. So if you're ready for the final channel review, and it is going to be about this channel right here, which is the Thomas family. Pranks, challenges, and more. Over to you, folks. What do you think of the channel banner and maybe the channel layout as you see it here? Quickly to reference the channel, it's very new, started at the end of March, 11,000 views. We bring you challenges, vlogs, reactions, and more. Let us know what you think. So Blake Edgington is saying channel banner, but I'm not sure what you're telling us about that. Good banner, tells it as it is, from artist Matthew Harvey. Channel's banner is good. John TV says it's basic. Listy, you're saying that the banner needs work. If you want to add what work you think it needs, by all means include that. Banner's good. Nice, but missing thumbnails. The banner could use some personality. Excellent suggestion there, Andrew. That's exactly what I was thinking. If it's a family vlog, where's the family? And I think absolutely you should probably include some images from you as a family in that channel banner. Somebody saying that you like the social media tags that are on there. I'm not sure what social media tags you're talking about, but maybe it's the ones to the right there, these Instagram ones here. Upside is saying that you feel like the banner is a bit generic, and I see where you're coming from there. Banner could do with a picture of the family. Absolutely, good suggestion there. The Disney Club. So it's missing playlist. So yeah, some good points now about the general channel layout. All we see here is the most recent uploads, which seems to be very frequent. We've had 5 videos in the last 3 days. So lots of consistency there, which is good. But people are saying maybe you need to add some playlists. So absolutely, if you've got videos on pranks, challenges, and more, maybe divide them into playlists and help your audience find the content that they're going to enjoy most. General summary then seems to be there that we would want to see a better channel banner. On to the videos themselves then. Let's have a look at the titles, the thumbnails. What are your general thoughts here on what we can see? Oh, the Yokai advisor is also saying that you're missing a trailer, and that's probably a brilliant way to introduce your family, certainly in a channel trailer. So yeah, a trailer at some point may be worth doing. Your channel's still relatively new though, so I can understand that why you haven't quite got a channel trailer yet. But yeah, need a video introducing the family. Do we have a video introducing the family here? It doesn't look like you do in the first few videos, so a family introduction channel trailer might be good. Mario here is saying that the thumbnail text is too small. So if we look at ones like Black Mash Challenge, Don't Bully Jeffy a lot. So the house is burning, too silly for this. I'd agree. Using red fonts on busy backgrounds probably isn't the way forward. Makes things a little busy. So good suggestion there. And I think I would also say that the fonts keep changing every single video. So there's a lack of consistency there. So having some consistent fonts and colors might help. Razy is saying you have the faces on the thumbnails. Yeah, my question would be, are the faces and the reactions big enough? In some of these videos, the faces are like 5-10% of the thumbnail itself, and we probably want much bigger reactions there if we have. Somebody saying there's too many emojis on them. Like, I think this is definitely a personal opinion. Do you think there should be more emojis on these videos, less emojis, or more effective emojis? Yeah, fonts are tough. Mario's just saying that fonts are tough, and you went back to change most of yours. So that's good. And a general good opinion here from the artist Matthew Harvey. Thumbnails, branding. I think you're absolutely right here. These look to be generally freeze frames or a quick picture taken without much thought of how these are going to be branded all together, with maybe a color theme or some logo somewhere in there. And maybe you want to think about how you can add depth to your thumbnail so it's not just a flat foreground and background. Just the few examples I'm looking at here is these ones where the background is quite quite light versus a bit of a contrasty foreground, and so is anything lost there? And there are occasions here where we've got 4 people's faces here, but we can't see the whites of their eyes because they're too far zoomed out or they're not looking directly at the camera. So trying to build that element of trust would be good as well. So exactly, artists. Matthew, you're saying maybe put an outline around the people. So yeah, cut out the people, put a glow effect on them, just gives them more emphasis. Some people now asking, what does SML and DDG mean? I guess these are in titles, and absolutely, if you don't know what they mean, your audience doesn't know what SML means, maybe you need to explain that in the title. A good point there. Awesome point, actually. I'm just going to have a look at what the most popular videos on your channel are. Ignoring my boyfriend, husband prank, he gets mad. I think this is an example of where the title and the thumbnail are sort of working together quite well. Like ignoring my boyfriend, and then he gets physical. So there's the title, which leads a bit of a teasy hook of the story, and hopefully that helps people click on the thumbnails. Geek of All Trades is suggesting it's Saturday Night Live. If it is Saturday Night Live, unfortunately they're missing one of the one of the letters is wrong. But what we notice here is that the SML movies are consistently your most important, most successful videos. So maybe you want to do a lot more of these themed videos. My guess is it's something like Saturday Movie Live or Sunday Movie Live. In fact, we might as well have a look at one of these and see what we think. So we're going to go for this one.
What is up, everybody? I'm Tisha.
I'm DJ.
Welcome back to our channel. Thanks for watching. Braylon is in dance right now, so we decided let's do a reaction video.
Today we're going to be reacting to Jeffy Gets a Cavity from SML.
Yeah, DJ watches these all the time.
Oh, so it's SML, a YouTube channel. I think, is that what you're reacting to? I guess. Looks that way. Okay. So if you're doing reaction videos on a specific channel or person, that seems relatively fine for me. What do we think of the keywords? Maybe the first 30 seconds of a video there. Did that grab you as a viewer? Did you want to watch more, or was it lacking purpose? Let us know your general thoughts on how the video started there. Ray Z, you're saying not really, but I'm not sure what you're saying not really to. Laura Sexton says more personality. So, you may be thinking that the people here are looking a bit flat, not enough energy and pizzazz, maybe, possibly. I suppose that's a good point to make. There we are. Geek of All Trades is saying that the beginning needs a little more of a hook. And one way to do that might be to take one of the highlights of the reaction bit where you burst out laughing, or you have a shocking response or something, and drop that in for the first 5 to 10 seconds. So good advice there from the Geek of All Trades. Absolutely, yeah. So some good stuff there. Title too short, Ray Z is saying. Is it too short, or does it get exactly what you need? I suppose one thing you could add to this is SML movie, Jeffy Gets a Cavity, reaction, and then your action might summarize a tease like boring or exciting, or this bit was awesome, or that funny section, to maybe some a little bit of an explanation of a reaction video might be good. Somebody's wanting me to extend the description. Anything we could add to the description there? The Gun Collective here is saying, I think creative editing and trimming down the video during less exciting parts would help keep the pace moving along. I think that's a very good point to make. Might just need to clip some bits and maybe a very subtle zoom in and out of the different people talking at different times may help with what's called pattern interrupts. So good advice there. And so Digital Jedi Master also here is saying, yeah, reaction videos benefit from emphasis on the reaction either in the thumbs and or the videos itself. So a good additional suggestion there. Somebody's asking if they do have end cards, and it looks as if the video does, according to the optimization checklist. We can jump towards the end there, see if we do see some end cards. Yeah, I think there is some end cards there. So getting some of the basics and fundamentals down there is good. Any thoughts on tags before we move on? Blake Edgington is saying that it seems a little flat. And Now That's Gaming is saying that maybe the description could be fleshed out more. I'd tend to agree with you there. There's only really 3 sentences there of any interest, and absolutely some more descriptive text, maybe include more reaction keywords and SML keywords, maybe helpful there before moving on to social media and then suggesting other videos as well. Yeah, the description needs more. I would agree with you there. Okay, so if we were going to summarize the Thomas family, we think this channel banner needs to be much less generic and tell a story about the family in some way. The thumbnails need to be have more focus. They seem a little busy, and try and get the reactions of people's faces more in tune with what the audience potentially sees, and also the fonts need to be made more consistent and uniform. As we saw at the very beginning in our first review, Now That's Gaming, where this consistent use of thumbnails seem to have a much bigger impact. And in terms of the videos, obviously we only saw one, but more impact, I think, would help in terms of the energy and perhaps a little bit of editing and fleshing out the descriptions. So thank you, every single one of you there who's come for your own channel review and your own advice, but has been so welcoming and happy and ready to share your thoughts on somebody else's channel to help them continue to grow their content. Really do appreciate that, and thank you very much. So we're just a couple of super chats that went by the way, which I just wanted to pick out. Mario Monte saying, you've already reviewed me and I've already donated because of it, but everything was well worth it. Just wanted to say thanks again. You're very welcome. Thank you for the super chat. And it's awesome to know that even though you've had your channel reviewed, you're still coming back to provide assistance to others. And the Fan Theory did ask for a channel review, but as we say at the top of all of these live streams, we don't do channel reviews based off of super chats at this time because I don't want to create a financial barrier. Okay, folks, that brings to an end another session of the vidIQ channel review live streams. I hope you found it useful. Even if you didn't have your channel reviewed, you picked up some useful tips and tricks about how you may want to look at your own thumbnails, the value proposition, the channel banner, how you present your content to people, intros, those sorts of things. We've covered a lot of different topics here. And I think the first channel, even though it was one of the smallest, which was Now That's Gaming, this one here, I think this is a template for how your channel should look in terms of your message and the art. It's a real good example of understanding exactly what your content's about immediately so that I can decide whether or not I want to watch this content or it's not for me. So you either want to get your audience straight away and have them really engaged, or tell them to move on to something that's more relevant to them. And I think that channel did it the best this week. So it just leaves us to say, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream, do make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when the next live stream occurs, which is usually 11 o'clock PST, then make sure to subscribe to vidIQ if you haven't already done so, and click on the notification bell. I've even got a subscribe pillow there in case you want to do that. And yeah, the notification bell is right here as well to make sure that you know exactly when the next live stream is coming. And of any of the tools that you've seen here today, that you would be interested, that you haven't seen before and would be interested in using, especially as we've seen the channel audit screen you have here, which will audit your channel 24/7, not just when we're live streaming. Make sure to check that out. And it just leaves me to say, as always, enjoy the rest of your video making day, and we'll see you all very soon